everyone. How's everyone doing today? So I'm watching Shane's documentary with Jeffree Star, like episode 2 right now. So today, what day is today? 5th of October, Saturday. So there you go. I really like it. I found it very touching, this whole documentary thing. I actually cried for the first episode and I cried again for the second episode, especially when Jeffree told him about the deal and how much he was getting money wise, and I'm like, and then he broke down in the toilet. I'm like, I'm crying with him. It was so, I don't know, sad and relieved, and I just felt all of those feelings. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today, I was thinking about talking about creating your own world and how what's going on in your head, basically creating the space around you, and also it like who you are as a person create what you want in your own world. So I've been dealing with a few things lately. I don't know why I said that. I just been dealing with one thing, um, but I witnessed how people create their world, even if they're trying to change. Right? I witnessed a person basically have conflicting aspiration with their behaviors. So when you want to create something, you have the end in mind, and then you basically, what you do, you align your thought and your action, especially your action, towards that end result, right? That's how you get manifestation in this world. You said, oh, I want to go to Paris, for example. You align your thoughts and then you basically align your behaviors accordingly. Let's say you have money coming in from your job, $400 a week or $500 a week. Let's say a flight to Paris is $2,000. Then maybe you can set aside $100 every week, and then it will take you maybe half a year to basically save up for that one flight, and maybe it'll take another 6 months to have money on hostels or accommodations and stuff like that, and just like some little spending money. So even at $400 a week, you probably can start to like aligning your behaviors toward that end goal. That's just like one, that's what, if you are really 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 serious about creating something in your world, right? But for most of us, we definitely don't do that. We're like, oh yeah, one day I would love to go to Paris. So I was witnessing this person, like using this particular example, like I just plucked that out of thin air. I witnessed this one person basically saying, oh, think positively, think like law of attraction, doing all these things. But their behaviors are very different. Every time someone say, like for this example, say Paris, it's like, those are for rich people, like no one's gonna give you any more money. Rather than asking, how can I make more money, for example, to make this process faster, and it would go like, oh yeah, people are very rude, people are very like, so there's that there's a very like huge gap between who they think they are, like this person who is capable of doing all those things, and like, oh, they thinking that they are great manifestors, but then they don't really display that in their behaviors. I think until you basically get your, and I'm very much blamed to this, right? I'm like, I take all the blame for it in my own life as well, but at least I'm very aware that I'm not aligned, so it's not a hypocrite when I'm trying to teach other people or tell other people, oh, this is how you get to $1 million, while I am myself not even near to like the 10,000aires. But I think there's so much lack of awareness I was witnessing, and I was also witnessing how they create their world through the behaviors, through their words, through their affirmations. Like, oh, people are just so dumb, they don't know what they're fucking doing. And I witnessed this person basically don't know what they're fucking doing every single time. It's as if that everything that they say about the other person is actually about themselves, and everything, it's like so I learned for very like within a very short period of time to basically ignore the fact that he's talking about another person. I'm just applying it straight away to himself or to herself in this particular part, in this particular point. And I was like, oh, that's why. And it was very, very stressful because after a while, if you're tired, right, you can get sucked into people's world, into people's electromagnetic bubble. It's like if you having a bad day suddenly and then you start talking to some random schizophrenic people on the subway, and then they basically drag you into their lifestyle, and then you're suddenly finding yourself at 3 a.m. in some, very dingy corner of the city, and then I don't know, like witnessing them basically peeing on someone, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not this person, how did I get here? So it was very, very, it's like you basically make real of what you believe in the world. I never witnessed that in my whole entire life until recently. It's like they basically, like, as soon they're manifesting things in, like, unfolding it right in real time, and I'm looking at it from the outside in, and that's very rare to see because some events can happen. For example, for like if we order something in the restaurant, and then my beliefs is that everyone will know what they're doing, and I always being treated very nicely, and when I don't, it's extremely rare, and I would probably just dedicate that to a bad day on their parts and not really think about it, because in general I usually get very, very top-notch service, and I get served really well. But if this person, for example, he or she, they would be having this extreme belief and thoughts that, oh, these bitches or these douches don't know what they're doing, they just always messed up your order. And then I would have an experience in the same exact spot, in the same exact time, where I'm being served very well, while they are getting all the orders mixed up, and it's not what they wanted. So we were sharing the same space, the same at the same time, but we weren't having the same experience. So witnessing that was just so weird for me, and it was also a very good evidence in how what you believe about the world really determine how you are going to experience your world. And the good news about that is, of course, you can change it, right? You can change your beliefs. The bad news is you have to follow through with your body and your mind and your soul. You have to align those, because beliefs only real and only have power of manifestations when these three beings actually align in the same space and time. Because for example, using that particular waitress example, I have no doubts that people know what they're doing. They just want to do their job correctly, they want to be treated nicely, so that's why I'm treating them nicely, and therefore I also feel like they ought to do their job, so I would like to be treated nicely. So I expect great service, and I will do my very best to respect them as well. So there is no misalignment in my beliefs in regards to getting great service, because I expect it, I want it, and I really appreciate it. But if I'm being really fake about it, like I talk really nicely to them, and then talk bad about them behind their backs, that's misalignment straight away. Like if I say thank you very much, I really appreciate this, and then I walk away, there is no after comment from that moment. There is no like I'm not going to walk away and say things like, oh, that was such a shitty thing, like I had to say those really nice things because I have to be really polite. It's such a shitty food, blah blah blah. So I don't have that after post comment or post moment, that basically kind of showing how hypocritical you are, because hypocritical behaviors is very, very dangerous for a person who wants to accomplish a lot of things in life. Because once you betray your own words, once you betray your own integrity when it comes to how you deal with people, even when there is no one around you, your power, your self spiritual manifestation power decreases. And it does take practice to stay aligned, and definitely not a master of it even now. But I think it's definitely worth thinking and ponder about, and maybe create a habit to align everything, rather than being committed to say I'm gonna be a millionaire one day. Okay, let's just focus on being a thousandaire first. Okay, after that's accomplished, let's focus on being a 10,000aire first, and then gradually doing all that things and believing, and also making sure that you are aligned with what you would like to go, and believing it, meaning like, oh, if I were, even if, like, the first step is like, even if you're not believing it right now, you would actually, like, okay, let's say I do believe in it, how would this person who believe in it act and react? Would they talk back? Would they say but? Would they say yeah but? Or would they say no, and stuff like that? So you just do it from that perspective, and then you kind of like work backwards, and then you do it from where you are in that moment, and closing the gap constantly. But anyway, I was witnessing this person basically creating all this world, all this chaotic around them all the time, constantly. And I was really worried, because I'm like, I don't want to get dragged into this chaotic world. So I just want to make a clean break, like have a good amicable separation, have a good, decent and polite things. And because, if you stick around those people, you're just gonna get drown into this spiral, this tornado of chaos, right? um and you also can recognize it once you have gone through it yourself. So that's also one of the cool thing. If you ever had depression or anxiety, you will be able to recognize the source of it and how it started and stuff like that. So that's a superpower anyway. And it was so funny, because everything I do, I have basically not have problem with a certain things, and then I did this one thing yesterday that I haven't had problem with, and I had a glitch. It was a technology, it was like an internet glitch, connection glitch. And then I would receive this thing saying, hey, it's not processed yet, but and then I would see things on the screen, seeing things have been taken away but have not been recorded. And I'm like, and this happens when I'm dealing with this other person. So, and I'm like, this is nothing to do with me, this is about the other person. It's like, even when I'm trying to do good, even when I'm trying to do positive, it's as if there is an invisible field around them that is incapable of receiving good, because the beliefs are very strong. It creates a shield almost that needs to make that belief real. So anything that is outside that belief get bounced back. So even if I want to do good for them, it cannot be received. They don't have a receptor for it, so it will bounce back. So I was like, wow, it was so weird to basically see it from the outside, that it was amazing, because it basically shows you the tangibility of this, mumbo jumbo spirituality, metaphysical, mystical things. It's like, this is tangible. I want to send something tangible. I got, like, all the universe is basically conspiring against against me doing good, because that's that, like, good is not part of the other person's world. That was like, oh, this is such a valuable experience. But anyway, that's my insight for the week. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to continue watching Shane Dawson. I think this is an epic series. I hope I don't have to wait another week for a second episode, or for the third episode, because we waited only 3 days probably for this episode. But I'm excited. I really, really love this. Oh, I hope like it's gonna be like a seven episode series, or 20. I don't know. I feel like this is like a marketing kind of a promotion for Shane Dawson. It isn't. I just really want to watch it. It's just, I think it's greater. There's something greater happening. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Maybe if I stream, I'm just gonna put all the VOD here again as well. If you're here for arts, it's in the new channel. It's no longer here, but you still can buy all my products down below. There is a motivational quote shop in the link list, so you can check that out if you're not into art. And I've got everything for everyone. Bye everyone, have a good one. I'll see you later.